So this Almond Danny Jones thing is heating up a little bit. They had a exorcist come on there. Try to talk to him. I haven't watched through. Yeah, I haven't watched all the footage yet. I've watched some of it, some of the clips that they posted on YouTube. I'm guessing the whole conversation is on some kind of paywall sort of podcast situation, but and yeah, I'm eating a 7-0. It continues. But from what I've seen so far, it's like Ammon's just handling that guy. I mean, he's not even really taking it seriously. Because, I mean, Bob himself seems a bit like a bit of a grifter, you know. And he's doing a lot of projecting as far as what he's saying to Ammon about how he wants to control the conversation. He says he won't let him speak. But the video I watched is like the first 15 minutes is him just rambling on and on and on about, you know, the regular stuff that you'll get from a guy like Bob, you know, mentioning all the stuff from the Bible that everybody already knows, just reiterating things that everyone at that table is like, yeah, okay, we understand. But let's get to the heart of the matter here, which is trying to debunk Almond's claims about the Bible and Jesus. And I don't think Bob can do that. And that's the problem you have with Almond, is that there aren't a lot of people on his level as far as decoding that ancient Greek. So until you really get someone that can, it's kind of a waste of time, you know. And it's just that as I'm watching it, it just made me think of the eternal problem that Team Good has. Team Bad, the bad guys, they have all the interesting people. They always have the, you know, the best aesthetics. We're on the back foot with that stuff. Our guys aren't that entertaining. Our outfits are kind of shit. You know, that's an ongoing, perplexing problem that, you know, is going to take a lot of fixing. But you got to just kind of roll with it. And watching this thing, it's just like, you already know where it's going. That stuff I did a video with about and all that stuff I found. No one's really said anything about it. You know, a few people were like, I don't think it's him. It's like, yeah, no, it's just a huge coincidence that the funeral or his wake was on Almond Road. And he's from Almond is the name of his town. Looks just like him. It's like, and then he died at the last day of the year of 2022. It's one of those cases where two of my fields of study at a hobbyist level kind of coalesce: the occult and Big Daddy government. I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but I know a good fair bit about both of those things. So when they collide, I usually have a pretty good understanding of what the fuck's going on. And when I say things like fields of expertise or fields of study, I don't have a degree in anything. My study of the occult just goes back to, you know, being a teenager when I first started digging around in that hole. And my experience with digging around the government hole, that started a couple years after 9/11, which it did for a lot of people. You know, after that event, people were like, wait a minute, that don't seem right. And that started people on that path. And it's just, you know, my interest in these subjects has increased over the years. And I think I have a good understanding of how the basics of a lot of this stuff works. But, you know, I don't have a degree in any field. But so when I say stuff like that, it's more to be facetious or just for conversation's sake. I wouldn't want anyone to think I have an occult diploma. But yeah, this is pretty interesting stuff. The guy is not. He's not the one that's gonna make a difference or move the needle against the almond story. It's weird that no one. You got nobody. Then that's the whole thing that made me weary of his original thing. It's like, I'm the only one that can read this. Trust me, dude. You know, it's like, well, you're kind of satanic, so your whole thing, your team's whole thing is lying and manipulation and stuff. He's entertaining. I love watching him, but he's, you know, he's clearly on a team there. But I gotta catch the rest of it and like listen to all the parts. It's kind of hard to get through because I know where it's going, you know. And then Bob is just like, what a boring dude. It seems like he's there to get himself over, you know, more than anything, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's how it is in this kind of media age. You know, everybody's just trying to get themselves over. Kind of nice out today. I'm not going to be counting immigrants today because I did that in the last few videos. I didn't check how many people unsubscribed over it, but I'm sure some have. Because if you weren't following me, or not even following me, if you don't know the story, then it must seem really weird, you know. And it's not a race issue, it's an immigration. Well, it is a race issue, but it's an immigration thing. It's like these people all come from Haiti, Africa, as well as some from the mainland as well, that meet the criteria for this DEI thing. Those are Indian people. From distance, you could probably look and be, oh, there we go, no. But yeah, in this case, the immigrants are just easy to spot. So that's why I can count them. But yeah, I'm going to try to stay away from that today. And see what else is going on here. One thing we do have a lot of here, and I noticed that right around the right after lockdowns and stuff, when very few people were going on the street. One thing we do have a lot of is older transgender people. As I was just walking by the bus stop, there was an older man with a dress on and makeup, and there's a lot of older male transgender people here in this neighborhood. Other people have sort of pointed it out too. To me, it's like I know I see everything. You don't think I notice? I'm a nudicer. Yeah, when I first moved here, there was a lot of transgender people here. Younger transgender people. They're called mahus here. It's tied, there's a very long tie to Hawaiian culture, transgenderism and intersex, whatever you call it. It's in their myths and some of their history. And it ties into the healer stones that we've talked about. There's just a lot of it here. And when I moved here, they're everywhere. But real ones that put work into it, well, you couldn't really tell. You know, Nia was like, would point them out, like, that's a guy. I'm like, no way. You know, they were definitely passing from a distance. And there was just a lot. There was a lot. And we had a club kind of down the corner, the one I talk about all the time, that the Kangs are having, we're having graffiti wars with the town with. And they used to have clubs down there that a lot of them would hang out at. And after now, post pandemic, there's like none. The only thing we have are the older folks here that don't put the same amount of effort into it, or maybe they just don't know. Like, they don't know what to do. It's there's one Asian dude that I don't see him anymore, but I used to see him all the time, where he would just wear the dress, right? and he wouldn't do anything else. He had a balding hair, but he had long in the back and sides, like a skullet type of thing going on. And he had a really hairy back and hairy arms, and the only thing he did was wear the dress. And it just kind of drove home the whole ridiculousness of that whole thing. Like, this is a guy that would argue with you about what bathroom he's using. It had to, I'm glad, you know, one of the Trump things that happened, whether any of that is real or it means anything, or it can't just be overturned by the next group of people that get in that are against him. Now, that's the thing too, like, people talk about all these things he's signing, these changes he's making to help the country. It's like, well, if somehow one of his opponents gets in, they could just reverse everything and then we're back in the same situation. But yeah, it's good that he's clearing up a lot of it, at least in the public consciousness. You know, the Overton window has been moving for a while. Noticed that almost 2 years ago, where we had reached our peak of insanity, of wokeness insanity, especially in relation to the trans thing. Because, I mean, the trans population, what are they, 0.002%, to have such attention lavished on such a small group of people, it should make you understand, oh, this isn't about the people. This isn't about them. It's about something much larger. Much larger they're trying to convey to the culture, or, you know, or make a point of on a larger macro social scale, you know. There's more to it than, it's a Satan kind of flexing his muscles, like, I can do this, and we can do that. Lately I've been seeing a lot about, and by lately seeing a lot, I mean my YouTube timeline, a lot about the little season stuff, and how, you know, I've talked about this before, where a lot of people online think we're in the little season. I don't know. I mean, we could be. They have some compelling evidence for it. But the thing is, regardless of where we are, I think they want us to think that we're heading toward the return of Jesus and the sort of classic revelation, or the classic understanding of the end times. They want us to think we're moving into it, and by extension, they're taking actions that would be congruent with the moving of that timeline. So it's like they're kind of making it happen on their own, or they're trying to do a version of the end times by the things they're doing, you know. So whether we're in the little season or not, they're trying to make it so that our timeline is going in that direction. I mean, it could just be all smoke and mirrors, and really they don't have any way to determine how the timeline moves. But what happens if, you know, we are in the little season and they sort of force a makeshift revelation on time? Is that even possible? I don't know. Because even if it's not really happening, if they're doing all the things that would facilitate that happening, what's the difference, you know? What's the difference? Yeah, that guy Paul, the Nephilim clowns guy, he covers it pretty well. He has a lot of stuff about the how he thinks from the little season. And again, you know, my sort of show radar goes off. It's like, well, why is he doing this now? Well, because, I mean, you can only go so far with the Nephilim or clowns thing. That's all he was doing for a long time. He has a book on it, and of course, because they all do, right? But I was giving him a pass on the book because, I don't know, he seemed like a genuine guy. And he was, I've had a couple exchanges with him, and nothing serious, just he seemed nice enough. And his story kind of seems real. I don't know, you never know with these guys. But yeah, he shifted now to just doing that. And that always kind of activates my almonds when I see someone who is very specific in one sort of subject, and then once it seems like that subject is, you know, they mined that subject of all the gold they're going to get out of it. They switched to something else. So now he's been doing the little season thing. He's got a lot of good stuff about how it very well could be Satan's little season. And regardless of any of this stuff, though, we're moving towards something, you know. That's some of the profound wisdom I can add to the discourse. We're moving towards something. I suck. I just saw a possible African immigrant. So that's one. The people that were in my building are kind of gone too. I know one guy was from Kenya. He used to wash his car, or whatever car he was renting that week. It's weird. There's a thing in the culture where they rent cars. Like they won't have much money, but they'll take their money and spend them on high-end. Oh, that's definitely African. Oh my God, that's two. Oh no, the whole neighborhood's finished. Yeah, they'll spend them on renting cars. I don't know. It's like a weird thing to do. So he was out there washing a different car every week, and he's gone. There was some neighbors on my floor, a couple, I believe they were a lesbian couple. They had a little kid though. I haven't seen them either. Yeah, in the past couple of years, there was a lot of, I'd say, I don't know how many, I can even guesstimate how many immigrants from that part of the world moved into my building, but quite a few, you know. About a month ago, I saw another group moving in. They were unloading all their furniture. And yes, I haven't seen anyone around my building to meet that criteria. So I don't know. I mean, the other day I was walking around counting, you know, which is actually fucking pretty hilarious. I know this guy here. He's a homeless guy that's lived here for years. Guy that walked across the street. But it's the same one I ran into the other day too, like the same thing. How you doing, man? Good to see you, man. Yeah, he's one of the dudes that lived here. He was here when I got here. And he's a homeless guy, he's quiet. Keeps to himself. Nia knows him too. We'd occasionally help him out with something. But the other day when I was talking about counting immigrants, and I said, yeah, there's people that have always lived here. And he was one of them, and there he was, you know, and I just saw him again. That guy, right? You might say, oh, there's an African immigrant. Nope, that guy's Indian. I know my people. If I was allowed to, I'd be the best racial anthropologist in the world, because Hawaii, especially this area here, it's a tourist area, so there's people coming from all over the world converging here, and I get to see how different groups interact and how they act with each other. And there's very specific things about every different group. Excuse me, as I picked up on watching social interactions, or them interacting with the environment. PVE, as they say. Yeah, and you learn a lot of stuff. You pick up a lot of things, but you know, they don't, in our society, in our world, in the Western world, they don't even want to admit that there's a difference between races. So racial anthropology is probably not a subject you're going to see studied anytime soon, but maybe possibly in the future. I could be a giant in that field because of my observation skills that are autism level, and some of my xenophobia and fear and hatred of things that are different. I think it would make me a perfect racial anthropologist. This is the pedal bus, as you can see. Always gotta make note when you see the pedal symbol. The pedal symbol's on so much stuff too. And people don't know. And it's not even like a secret kind of thing, like only schizos know. Like the FBI released images to the public so that they would know what things mean. And this is years ago. And they have a whole chart. And that swirl is boy stuff for young boy things. And it's on a lot of stuff. If you're looking for images online too, like, you know, you see those Alame water fucking coated images. They always have that swirl and all the stuff. It's funny. Yeah, that's a big one. Because that's kind of the main one as far as when it comes to kids. Like the most popular, the most used is the male. Because they meet all the requirements that are necessary for the different things they do with kids. I'm not going to get into it. But the young male is the one that, and it's the one they're most afraid of, right? It's the one that they fear the most. So they want to get them while they're young, figure out who they are, tag them and bag them, send them back out into the wild like myself, and then just keep tabs on them over their lifetime. And if they look like they're spurging, or they're gonna fucking drop the spaghetti out of their pocket, they put them in the nut hut for a while, and they throw medications at them to try to work that shit right out of them, like what I went through. But you know, they can't keep their eye on all of us. Obviously I'll make it a bit easier for them doing these videos, but I think if anything, this is it's a defense thing, you know. I don't need to tell you about my strategy of video making. That's probably why, like, it would be confusing to people to look at, I guess, if they don't, never been here before, to see the way I run my stuff here. Like, it doesn't really make sense if you're trying to cut out a spot here on this platform, because I'm not in it for the regular reasons. I can also use that as a cope for when no one watches my videos. I can just say, oh no, I'm here for a different reason. My videos don't have to be good or be seen. I'm doing something else. So it's a good cope. So it fits, you know, it fits a lot of different narratives here. I get 10, 8. Yeah, I'm gonna make it. I made it. We already made it. We're already over there. We're already there. So I was in Ross, and as a reminder how much I love this thing. This thing is the fucking bomb. It's unbelievable. And the thing is, like a lot of stuff, the reason I enjoy it so much is because it infuriates people. People don't like this thing here. And the reason is because they don't want you to be able to put anything between you and them. They want to get real close to you, because the thinking is, and I'm going to let you in on the robot NPC mind, the way it works is they're in line, they want to buy their goods, their stupid shit. So I'm in the way of them getting to the counter. I'm an obstacle. So they want me to just not exist or vanish and leave. So they think by putting pressure on me, it's either going to move the line quicker, or it's going to make me just get frustrated and leave. This is everything. It just goes beyond racial borders. Everybody does this. You know, 95% of the population that are fucking robots. The robots all do this. But when you have that thing there, and I was fucking driving this older lady couple older women, I was driving them fucking crazy. They were so mad at me for having that thing, because they wanted to, you know, do the regular push me along or get real uncomfortably close to me. And when you have that behind you, fucking black people hate it too. They don't like it. They don't like any form of segregation. But yeah, that thing is perfect. You put it behind you, and the aisles are so kind of narrow that if you just have that there, they can't get near you. And again, the people that want to get near you get really frustrated by it. So I was having a real good time. Is that number 3? That's number 3. That's the third African immigrant. I call them all African immigrants because, I mean, ultimately, that's what they are. Even if they're born in Philly, you know, they're Africans. You know, I'm an Irishman. You know, it's just how it is. It doesn't matter that I'm born in Massachusetts. America isn't really it's a made-up place. Basically, it's just I mean, I'm not about to get into the origins of America, but I believe it was built by our friends in Israel as a place that they can't get thrown out of. And their Freemasons founded it, and they use it for money laundering. They use it for being able to out in the open translate power and wealth to themselves. You know, you have people get upset like, okay, why are we sending 50 trillion to Israel every year? Blah, blah. It's like, dude, it's their country. You don't understand. They fucking own this place. It's the illusion that they're like another nation. They're not. They've always owned this place. The ultimate goal is to get Khazaria back, which no one's really watching. No one's thinking about. Maybe me and a couple other skits. That's why the whole Ukraine thing is going on. That's why they have to wipe out generations of a population by killing off the young men. You know, it gets many birds stoned at once for them. It's more destruction of white people, and destroys architecture, destabilizes that whole region. But basically, they're killing off any resistance that could possibly be there in the future, because, you know, ending lineages by murdering these young people. Then they can just kind of slide in at a certain point and make all that Khazaria again. You know, it's the idea. And then at that point, do they reveal their Khazars at that point? I mean, why even keep the Jewish charade going? I mean, they have to right now, but there will be a point where, I mean, I don't see why they would have to keep that going. They could just do tricked you. We're Khazarians. It's like, yeah, I knew, and then some other schizos knew, but yeah, that's what they want to do. They want that whole region back, as Khazaria, where Russia is and all that stuff, and Ukraine. So they're gonna wipe it out. They're gonna clear it out, get any resistance out of there before they move in. At that point, I don't know what happens to Israel. Maybe they sacrifice Israel. I know they have the whole third temple thing, and they have a really weird prophecy situation going on where they have to like kill off a third of their own people. There's that comes into it too. Every time I see a giant pushback against them on like Twitter, X, I'm like, is this it? Is this where they're doing it? Is this the sacrifice? Yeah, it's funny. But I don't know. It's weird. It's like so few people see that kind of shit. And all you gotta do is step back from the fucking, you know, from the map. Just take a step back. Just look at it and look at where people are. Look at where they're moving. Look at the forces in power, those who have power, what they're trying to do in their region currently. Like a big Risk game. Where is everybody moving? You know? It's not hard. You just have to just fucking look at it. But people don't have time to look at anything. They got them on the hamster wheel, producing gold for Mr. Gold every day. They don't have time. By the time they even have to think about something like that, they're on their deathbed. And that's the system. It keeps rolling on. It's alright though. We're gonna be fine. We will see a time of truth and reunion with our Father. And evil trampled out. By that point, it won't even matter. Like, a lot of times you think, like, oh, I can't wait for so-and-so, this evil person or evil group to get their comeuppance. By the time something like that happens, we won't even care or be thinking about it. It's almost like when you're in, like, I don't know, you're in high school or something, and you're like, oh, I can't wait till I get out of here. I'll show my teachers this and that. By the time you get out of there, and if you're doing something good, if you're living a good life or happy where you are, you're not thinking about, haha, I showed them. You don't care. So even though it is nice that the evil will all be destroyed. How's that? That's my Mossad agent neighbor. Yeah, I'm not like a schizo, right? I think there's a Mossad agent, but I really do though. Like there's a whole story behind that too. I don't have time to get into it because I'm gonna go in because more and more people keep coming out. But yeah, she's really nice. I like her. She's cool. I always play dumb too. So there's a problem in the Middle East. You have to, man. You had to keep that plausible deniability. Fucking ratchet to 10. Until next time, don't blame the teacher. Blame the school. That's cool. I could always cross the street, but that reeks of effort. They'll be around. Chinese New Year.